Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and into another Budget With Me video. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button before you go. We love to have you as part of our family here on YouTube. And for those of you guys who keep watching and coming back for more every week, thank you so very much for all your love and support. It really does mean the world to me. If this is your first time here, please know that if you leave me a question or a comment in the comment box, I may not always respond to you, but I do address any questions that I get in the next video. I do work full-time. I have an Etsy store that I deal with full-time, and I have 3 boys. I'm a very busy lady. My time is full, so if I don't get your comment addressed in the comment box, please know that I will address it in the upcoming video. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my budget video plan with me's, and then that way I can get your question answered, so that you don't feel like I'm just ignoring you, because I really do not. If it's something that you need to know right away, please feel free to email me. My email is always in the description box below as well. I do have a little bit more time to address emails, only because they come directly to me. I usually go through the comments of the video the week before. Like today, before I started filming, I went through last week's videos and addressed and looked at all the comments and questions, and I will be addressing those in this video as we move forward. So please, if you have a question or comment, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment box below. I do enjoy reading your comments, and I also love answering your questions. So also, if you are new here, this is it's a Dave Ramsey inspired budgeting system. However, me and my husband have no debt. Our cars are paid off. We are currently renting right now. We are aggressively saving up $165 or more every single paycheck that we get and putting that into savings, because we want to have the least amount of debt as possible moving forward. We're either going to buy or build a house in the spring, and the more money we save now, the more money we can pay on the home or the build, and therefore become debt-free faster. Because even though we don't have debt now, of course when we build that house we will have debt again. So that is the reason why you don't see like debt related stuff in my videos, is because I just don't have any. But by all means, if you have a question about debt, leave it in the comment box below. I have had debt in the past, and we have aggressively paid that off, which is the reason why we're in the situation that we're in now as far as having no debt. So if you have debt, leave it in the comment box. I'm sure that I can help answer any questions that you might have. We do have a system in place to where we are 1 month ahead of our bills every single month. So what we do personally, just a small little breakdown for you, is my husband gets paid every week. I get paid twice a month, and that's just from our regular jobs. That doesn't include my Etsy business or YouTube. So what happens is, in those 5 paychecks, we take out $165 each check, and it goes directly into savings, and then we pull out all of our bill money and put it into our checking account, so that at the first of the month, next month, we'll have all of the bill money to pay for December's bills by the end of this month, if that makes sense. So for example, if your total bills are $1,000, okay, throughout the whole month, that equals $1,000, and you get paid twice a week, or twice a month, what you're gonna do is you're gonna set aside $500 out of the first paycheck, $500 out of the second paycheck in November, put it into your checking account at the end of December. Or what we do is I know how much money that needs to come out of each of our paychecks to equal our bills. You know, we divide that by 5, because we have 5 paychecks, and that's the first thing that goes into our checking account. The only thing we use our main checking account for is for bills. So I would take my bill money plus my savings account money out of every single paycheck, and then what's left over is usually about $300. For example, this week we actually had about $480 because my husband ended up having to work some overtime. So I just picked that, I just took that extra $180 and I included that into my savings account. Anything that we get paid extra through Etsy, YouTube, and overtime through our paychecks are going directly into our savings account. We're not using that money for our cash budgeting system. This is used for our weekly expenses or anything that might come up throughout the month. So that's what you see this money for. I usually set aside $200 to $320 to put inside the system, depending on what I know is going to be coming up for the month. So this is what this breakdown is. Anything over the $320 that I have left over. This week we're only working with $300, so we had an extra total this week of $480, and I took that extra $180 and put it into our savings account. That goes above and beyond the $165 that we took out of our paycheck to put into our savings account originally. I hope that made sense to you. Sometimes I get to chatting and sometimes what I say doesn't come out right, but hopefully that makes sense. We're saving more money than what we would normally do in a given week because we are putting back more money. We're saving more money than spending currently. If you have a system and you're just now starting your budget and you don't have the funds to go ahead and get a month ahead in your bills, then what you can do is set up a cash envelope system and just start putting $20, $30 into that cash envelope until you get to your goal of whatever your bills are. Say it's $1,000. Whatever you can spare throughout that week time frame, say it's 30 or 50 bucks, put that $50 into a cash envelope and keep doing that until you get to that $1,000 mark. And you're going to continue to pay your bills for the whole month currently that you're in, and set back this extra money until you get enough money to have a whole month's worth of bills, and put that into your checking account and just have that extra in there, so then the following month you can be working and putting that bill money aside, and then you will become a month ahead in your bills, if that makes any sense. I do talk about how to get a month ahead in your bills in a little bit more detail in a couple videos ago, so I will try to link that up here in the cards if I can remember to do so. By the time I get done editing these videos, sometimes I forget what I've said in the video, but I'll try to link you at least the playlist or that video specifically, so that if you have any extra questions you can. I use the Happy Planner dashboard layout. This is a Franken planner. I just have different sections in my planner to where I have a budget, I have my social media and Etsy section, the budget section, and then my home section. I am getting ready to switch over to a print impressions for my business stuff, which I'll be sharing with you guys at some point if you watch those types of videos. This is a Happy Notes little notebook, and this is my cash envelope system, as you guys can see. I just removed all the paper out of here, and then I just created these envelopes. They do come in and out. I don't like having a cash system where I have to constantly take them out of a wallet, mostly because I don't usually carry a purse around with me. I just have a small little wallet that I carry around that holds cash and some cards, and that's about it. I have an Etsy store which these cash envelopes are available in, and I did just post some new ones in the store, so if you're interested in that link is always in the description bar below as well. You can head over there if you're interested in getting started on doing a system like me. I just prefer having all my cash envelopes in one section instead of rubber band together or whatever the case may be. So if you're interested in that, it is available for you to purchase on my Etsy store. As well as the new little mini notebooks just came out. And this is kind of what they look like on the inside. This is actually called the Happy Planner Mini notebook, and it does have dividers in that. And I have created the cash envelope systems to go in here as well. So there you can see these are a little bit longer in length because this was the original Happy Notes notebook. But they did just come out with this smaller version, so I have created envelopes to go inside this one if you're interested. Also on my Etsy store, and this is the stuff. I would just take all this stuff out. Unless you want to keep these pages in here to kind of track what money you're spending, you by all means can do that. But these little envelopes just kind of, you know, stick in here. And you can use them, take them out, however which way you want. So both of those are available in the store if you're interested. Moving on, okay, now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Most of you guys who watch these channel or watch this channel and these videos before know that I go through my cash envelopes, and in certain envelopes I take out the leftover cash. Groceries would be one I would take out, but I usually never have groceries left over or any money in my grocery budget left over. Miscellaneous, this envelope is just for any extra miscellaneous things that I might need throughout the week. If I need a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk, I would take it out of this money. And as you can see, I got $8 left over there. I don't have any money in Dollar Tree, and never in gas either. Back to school is empty this week because I did send money into the school for like milks and things like that on both the boys' accounts. Car maintenance, and then we have sports, clothing, family fun, gifts, vacation, and then this is my buffer account. Even though this says savings, it really is my buffer account. I usually put $20 to $30 in here just in case when I go to the grocery store and I've gone over my budget of 80 bucks, say it's $83, then I can pull that 20 out of there and use it. And so this week I have $11 left over, which brings me to my cash envelope system, or my $5 challenge system. Sorry, I tore that envelope pulling it out of my bag one day, so I had to put an extra one in here and it's not labeled. I consciously in my life try to not use my $5 bills, as you guys can see, and I save every single $5 bill that I get. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Is that right? I think I'm missing. I wonder if my husband got in here and took a $5 bill out, because I'm pretty sure I had 50 bucks in there. I'll have to go back and look at that. Little sneaker. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay. So when I get my $5 bills to $100, then I will take that out and put it into our safe at home. So I will add these $5 bills to my stash that I have. So that is 5, 10, 15. Sometimes I get $25 in fives, and sometimes I get one $5 bill. So there's that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I'm gonna have to go back and watch last week's video. If you know if I had $50 in this envelope, leave me a comment in the comment box, because I think my husband or one of my sneaky little kids got into that. I want to say I had $50 in there last week. So I'm gonna have to start hiding it if they're getting in my money, okay? So normally what I do is with the leftover ones is I add those into my grocery budget so that I just have a little bit extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in there. So we're gonna go ahead and break down how I'm gonna spend my money this week. Groceries is gonna get 80 as usual, so that's 20, 40, 60, 80. So we'll add that in with that $4 that I currently have, equaling $84. Miscellaneous always gets 40. I don't like swiping my debit card, and that is the reason why I add that miscellaneous fund in there. Dollar Tree is going to get 20, and that's just for me personally because I like getting craft supplies, although recently, the last couple times I've been to Dollar Tree, they haven't had too much, and I like getting craft supplies for cheap 99, if that makes any sense. Gas, of course, will get 20, and school will get 20 as well. Carb maintenance will get 20, and there's 20 in here, so that's going to equal 60. We really don't have anything currently right now. We just licensed our vehicles. They have new tires, so that probably will build up for a little bit inside there because we just don't really need anything currently for the cars. Sports will get 10. And last week I had a whole bunch of ones, and I just replaced that with a $20 bill. And so, oops, that's a 20. Let me get a 10 for you. So that's going to be 30 right now. It's winter time and we're in the middle of sports seasons, so I just am going to be adding $10 in there for the next go around of sports so that I don't have to budget for you know, cleats and helmets and all that stuff when it comes to baseball season. So there is clothing here, and clothing has $40 in it, and we will add 20 to it. And my little clothing section, when it comes to like back to school clothes, I budget that money and plan for that money for the kids is back to school clothes and shoes and things like that. This little clothing situation is just in case, you know, I come across a hoodie at some store and it's on sale. I can pick it up if I have this extra money in here, or if my husband or myself needs something like a pair of jeans or socks or underwears or something like that. I have the money in this envelope to take care of that, and I don't have to pull from my checking or savings account. Family fun always gets 20, and we usually always order pizza on Friday nights, so that's usually where that money comes from. In the summer months, we usually do let that build up a little bit, and we'll end up going to like the water park or something of that nature. Gifts will get 10, and I emptied out my gifts fund this past week because I went ahead and stopped and picked up breakfast for the staff at work. So that is the reason why that is empty. So I'm gonna just put $10 back in there, and then my vacation fund has 40 in there. We're gonna add another 20 to that, and that will be 60. And then my little buffer is gonna get $20 put in there. So there is that. And that is the cash stuffing envelopes for this week. I did have a question about whether or not I allow my kids to have an allowance, and or if I have them save some of that money and spend some of that money. And the answer to that question is my kids do get an allowance, but they have to earn their allowance. I just don't say, hey, your allowance is $20 and give it to them, and that's that. My kids have to earn their allowance, so if they don't do their chores and the things that they're supposed to do and be responsible for the things in this house that is theirs, and keep their rooms clean and do their chores, then they don't get allowance for that day. My kids get $20 a week if they do what they're supposed to do, and if they don't, then every day that they don't do what they're supposed to do, I cut money out of that. With that being said, I do have my kids save 20% of their allowance, and then they can spend the rest. So if they get, you know, if they get their full $20, then they are saving 20% of that, and then they can spend the rest. My two little kids don't usually spend their money, so they have quite large amount of money saved. And if they don't spend their money by the time they get their next week's allowance, then the previous week's allowance goes into savings as well. I don't think it's necessary for my kids to have, like, you know, $100 out there, being as young as they are, to go and buy whatever they want. The bigger kid is a different story. He's 17, so he's on a different level than the two little ones. So he usually he usually does and spends all of his allowance every week, minus the 20%. So there's that. I hope that answered your question. Yes, they do get an allowance, but it is something that they earn. If they don't earn it, then they don't get it. And then the savings part of that question is yes, I do make them save. She asked me if I made them save 10%, and I don't. I make them save 20. So there is the answer to that question. They all three have savings accounts at the banks. So when they do get their allowance money, not so much with the older one now because he's just busy doing whatever he does, but with the two younger ones, we do take them to the bank and they do deposit in their 20% into their own savings account every single week if they have earned the full 20. So that is, and that money, that $60 that I'm talking about, I consider as a bill. So that money is going into my checking account. That's why you don't see it in this system here. Anything that I for sure do every single week goes into bill money. So that's allowance. That is, like, I have a couple subscription boxes. Those things are luxuries, but they're also I consider them bills, so I do put that money into the checking account and pull it out specifically for the bill, if that makes sense. So there's that. If you are new here, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I really would appreciate it. For those of you guys who keep coming back and watching and asking me questions, thank you so much. It really means the world to me. I love you guys so, so much. And before you go, if you're interested in either one of these cash envelope systems here, whether it's the longer one or the smaller ones, please go over and check out my Etsy store. The link to that is in the description box as well. I'm getting ready to downsize my bag that I carry back and forth to work, so I probably myself will be switching my cash envelope systems over to the smaller one and leaving this one into my safe for backup. And then I can just have all these things labeled, like my vacation fund will stay, and every time I get to $100 in my vacation fund, I'll just slide it in here and put this whole thing in my safe, and then I will stay organized without like paper envelopes, because currently that's how my safe is set up right now. I have paper envelope every time I get to $100 in my vacation or my $5 challenge. I just been putting that into a paper envelope in my safe, but I think that I'm gonna add this one to my safe and carry this one around. So if you're interested, please go over and check those out. And that is all that I have for you today. I hope you join us again next week for another budget video. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description box below. Not description, comment box below. And we will see you guys next week for a new video. Bye!